Ladies and gentlemen, Angron's calmest son here, and today I wanted to talk about the Lamenters. Yeah, woo, woo, yeah. So they're cool, and there's a reason I actually did want to talk about them. It's not because I was low on ideas, which I'm not gonna lie, I kind of am, but I said I was taking a break from chaos videos, and when I was doing that, I was kind of racking my brain around, okay, what am I really into when it comes to Warhammer in general? Like, obviously, I like the blood and guts aesthetic and stagnation and just the overall like grim darkness of it. Obviously, that appeals to me a lot. But there's also something hidden within all that grim darkness that really speaks to me from not only a literary perspective, but from a tabletop even gamer perspective, if you will. So, to preface, if you haven't checked out my channel, or if you can't tell by the icon or the banner when you click on my stuff, it's pretty apparent I like chaos, right? It's pretty apparent that I like the world eaters. You can tell, I admire the senseless violence and tribal aesthetic to them. But when it comes to loyalists, so I used to be a really big Dark Angels fan, and I still am, but I've noticed my opinion of them has been sort of not getting worse, but I've just slowly been falling out of love with them, if you will. Like, I still appreciate the Dark Angels, I still love them, but in a sense that I've been just reading so much more Chaos and Xeno stuff that I've kind of drifted away from that. So I went looking for chapters or legions, whatever, for what would appeal to me, what I really like. And one kept popping up over and over and over again, whether it was on YouTube Shorts or Reddit or even TikTok, really. And there's actually some really good voiceovers for TikTok. I don't know who does them. I don't know the account. I just found them today, but they're like some from the End of the Death, really good. But I found the Lamenters, and I will be frank, I've never been interested in any Blood Angel stuff ever. I'm not the biggest Sanguinius fan, and someone's going to be in the comments and they're going to tell me to go offer my blood to the Blood God, and I'm going to say, easy, slow your roll there, kiddo. Let me explain why. I've just never been a big Sanguinius fan, not because for any personal reasons, and maybe that's because I also haven't read anything really impactful or including the Blood Angels in a really big way, maybe besides a little bit of the devastation of Baal. But that aside, it's the Lamenters, however, I don't even really consider them Blood Angels because they just stick out so much more than other Astartes because they're so human. And someone again might be in the comments saying, but Connor, what about the Salamanders? Really good contenders. I would almost agree with you, except they're still Space Marines in the sense that they care about humanity as an overarching goal, not the individual. So if you're in the mission and you're kind of an inconvenience or just collateral, they're not going to give a shit. Lamenters, on the other hand, their whole battle cry is, we die in glory for the ones we love. To me, that's badass because, besides chaos, when I look for what I like in chaos, I look for the brutality of it and the overall violence and hopelessness and how each character suffers, because I love that. I think that makes a tragic character that constantly suffers is an appealing character to me. But when we move to loyalists, I kind of tend to have the mindset of they all kind of act the same way, barring their cultural differences within the legions. Sure, a Dark Angel isn't going to act the same as a Space Wolf. I understand that, but I'm saying the way that they go about things and approach missions may be a little different, but overall they have the same personality and vibe when I read novels, including Loyalists. But from what I've gathered from reading about Lamenters, they seem the most human out of all of the Space Marines, and to me, that appeals. Because yes, I said grimdark. I wouldn't even say, because what's more grimdark than thinking there's still a chance you can save everybody? There's the overt suffering that's very present in the setting, and you can see it everywhere all the time, whether it is from a loyalist story or a chaos story, or Xenos. There will always be suffering and unfairness in Warhammer. That's apparent, but there's something really, really I guess, beautiful about the Lamenters, and the fact that they will truly and readily sacrifice themselves to save everybody. And the fact that they're cursed about it, too, kind of adds to that level of tragedy. And the fact that nobody wants to work with them. To me, that really sticks out because it's the opposite of what I look for in chaos. These are almost kind and compassionate leveled, genetic weapons of the Emperor who give a shit about humanity, and that's pretty rare to see. Obviously, there might be some on and off moments where other Space Marines who aren't Lamenters give a shit about humanity. I'm not saying they all don't, but I'm saying they all care about the mission, while Lamenters care about you and form these relationships, but unfortunately are just always going to be plagued with destruction and sadness and all this, tragedy and stuff. But it appeals, and it's awesome because they're the only Loyalist Legion as of right now, chapter, that I really am interested in. And I'm sure if anybody wants to drop down some of their favorites, I'll drop them down. I always do check them out. I promise I do. But as of right now, the Lamenters are the only really loyalist thing ever at this moment in time, where I think they're the only ones I would consider being enjoyable to me at this point in time, because they just stick out. I think, to me personally, there's something really, really tragic and beautiful about these people who continuously try to do the right thing in a setting where they serve someone who's, ontologically pretty much evil, except he's doing it for the benefit of mankind, but then, and then they're still fighting, and, they still have to deal with the worst of humanity and the worst of the setting, aliens, Drukhari, Necrons, orcs. And each time they're involved in a mission or a cataclysmic, war or whatever, they're always decimated until the last person, and then they rebuild and they start over, and then it's all toppled. It's almost like Sisyphus, the thing with Sisyphean or some shit. I don't know, man. I just talk about Warhammer. I'm not good with words, but you get what I'm saying. The pushing up the boulder and it all comes tumbling down again, and they still keep going and they still keep going. No other chapter, to my knowledge, and that's limited knowledge because I'm still reading and I'm still learning every day, guys, has that level of dedication to humanity. So yes, they're perfectly grimdark, and I think they're awesome. And they're just, coming from someone who doesn't like any really loyalist point of view ever, I can really respect them, and I think they are super awesome. And also, I was I was listening to an audio story from, I think, a Vox in the Void about the Lamenters. That was really good. If you haven't checked that out, I would check that out, because that helped me get a little more interested in Lamenters. But other than that, guys, yes, this was just me, a little love letter to the Lamenters coming from a World Eater. So with that being said, I would check them out if you haven't. I think they're the only chapter I really enjoy right now who's Loyalist. You want to drop yours down? Drop them down. I'll read them, get interested. But other than that, watch the whole video. Always, it's appreciated. And that's it. Who's excited for Space Marine 2? I think I'm pretty excited, but I'll see you guys later.